Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and we are going to continue our studies. We are now dividing decimals. The steps to dividing a decimal by a decimal. First thing you need to do is multiply both the dividend and the divisor by the same number so that the divisor is a whole number. The reason being that you're not allowed to divide by decimals. So your divisor, which is the outside number of the division sign or the denominator of a fraction, must be a whole number in order to be divided. Dividend is the inside number or the top number known as the numerator. Your answer is called the quotient. So if you multiply both the dividend and the divisor by the same number, the quotient will remain the same. So we'll see that as we go on. So here's our first example. We have 2.25 divided by 0.5. All right, so let's set this up as a quotient. And we have 2.25, and we're dividing by 0.5. Now we want to multiply this by the same number as the top because it's not going to change our quotient or our answer. The number I'm going to use is 10. Why did I use 10? Is because if I use 10, 0.5 times 10 will give me 5. And 2.25 times 10 will give me 22.5. Now I can divide this because my bottom number, notice it's a whole number. So let's just take a look at it if I were to put it the standard way, where I have 0.5 and 2.25. Now you might have heard in your class of study somewhere that you move this decimal point over to make it a whole number, so that way it'll be 5. But whatever you do to this side, you also have to do to the inside. So move that over one place, and that'll become 22.5. So now you have your whole number, and you can do your division. 5 goes into 2 0 times. 5 goes into 22 4 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Bring down the 2 and put our decimal point up here. Bring down this 5. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. And 5 times 5 is 25. Remainder 0. So our answer is going to be 4.5 when we divide. So hopefully that'll check out for us. So again, the steps are moving the decimal point over to the end of the number to make it a whole number, because you're not allowed to divide by decimals. If you do that to the outside number, you got to do it to the inside number. That's why 5 is on the outside now. 22.5 is on the inside. And just a rule, when you multiply and divide by the same number, you're multiplying, the top number and the bottom number by the same. So here, if I'm multiplying the numerator by 10 and I'm multiplying the 0.5 by 10, well, really, in a sense, I'm multiplying by 10 over 10, which is 1. So I'm really multiplying by 1. That's why the answer is not going to change, because these two cancel themselves out. But it allowed us to move the decimal point over to make it a whole number, moving it over one space. So that's how we got our answer. So I hope you got something out of that. Here's another question for you to try. So let's see if we can get to our question. Shucks. Sorry for the technical difficulty there. So here's our next question for you to try. Aisha uses 0.35 pounds of strawberries in each smoothie. How many smoothies can Aisha make with 2.43 pounds of strawberries? There's Aisha, so hopefully you can figure it out. Let's see what else we got. Check your understanding. If you understand it so far, great, but if you're not sure, rewind the tape and rewatch it again. Bring in your questions, write them down, and I'll be glad to answer them in class. Here's another one. Sabrina and three of her friends want to share a pizza that costs $12.72. How much does each friend owe for his or her share of the pizza? So that's a nice pie that can be divided up by, I wonder how many people, Sabrina and her three friends. So hopefully you can figure that one out. Here's another question. Regular unleaded gasoline costs 1.259 per gallon. So that's an interesting price. Andre spent $5 on gasoline. About how many gallons of gas did he buy? So A, B, C, D are your choices. So that's a good question. So see if you can figure out how many gallons do we get if it's going to cost them like $1.26 for 1 gallon. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson and got something out of it. If you have difficulty, write down your questions, bring them in to me, and tomorrow I'll be glad to answer them. So this is Dr. Robinson signing off. See you next time. Bye. Bye.